Right, okay
making
then.
my day.
Kassad, what is
Yeah.
your next hot take?
Okay.
Come on, hit me.
So I was thinking between two, and I'm gonna go with this one. Complexity should fire their whole team right now. Whole team.
It's not even like this guy.
No.
It's like he just cleans house. You're off. He's like on some Elon Musk shit. Like, right, I've taken over complexity. Everyone's fired. Clear out your desks.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
go on.
Look at this team. Like ever since the Jason Lake went public after that major and said like, was it Berlin? I think. Yeah, it was Berlin.
Yes.
It was like, yeah, the juggernaut. We're here to stay. We're whatever. Like he put the money where his mouth was. That's
Yeah.
fine. Ever since then, they have accomplished absolutely nothing. They came into this last year right now with this extra salt lineup that had potential. They played 12 months. They managed to absolutely do nothing. Like, look at the events they're playing. They didn't qualify for the last major. They played the Elisa in Finland. They didn't go through the groups there, which was a semi-good event, tier 2 at the best. They're playing cash cups right now, and they had a perfect moment to fire them all, except maybe Floppy, but that's just one person. But the thing is, like, as soon as you don't qualify for the major, right there, I'm just ripping off your contracts. You're free to go wherever you want. I have October, November, December, half of January to just make a plan. I'm a partnership team with Blast. I'm a partnership team with ESL. I paid all this money to get into these positions, and I'm bad throughout 3 years right now. So instead of firing them right now, after the RMR, they keep them and playing these cash cups so they can retain some points and maybe be in a contention for a plane Katowice, or I don't know what the deal is. I assume that's the deal. And that's it. I don't know how much they're paying. It doesn't really matter how much. If they pay 1K, it's 1K too much. Because this team, this organization has two most influential slots in our ecosystem right now, in Blast, in Pro League. So fire them, make a plan for team. You have 3.5 months to make a plan, sign a contract, develop your team, and go into 2023. They're not doing literally anything right now, playing cash cup. So what's going to happen? At the break is going to start. They're going to come back. Maybe they get into the Katowice playing. Maybe they try to get into the major. Let's not forget the America lost one spot at the major, so that's one spot less to qualify for Paris in April or May or whatever it is. And we know that these Brazilian teams are on the lookout. You said it yourself, Maui, Fluxo, and all these kids right now. They're looking to grab those spots. We already know that 2 of them are going to be going towards Furia and Liquid. So there's 3 more spots left. You think Complexity is going to be one of those? I don't think so. So instead of firing all of them and getting something different, getting fresh in 2023 with a plan, they're just continuing like this. Nothing's happening, and they're just gonna keep cruising like a mediocre team they are, even less than that. And they keep these spots in Pro League and ESL, 4 events guaranteed, maybe even 5 through the year. While some teams right now, they're struggling so hard. They're getting to these events. They're battling. They're just playing in Europe with all these competitions. They cannot get through. So, in my opinion, Complexity needs to go different way. They need to fire them all and just start over.
Come on then, Maui, because if people don't know,
yeah.
we haven't really talked that much about Complexity, but I get the vibe you're one of those people where it's like, you have like a soft spot for this team, and also like they are almost good enough for you to get into them.
Yeah, I'm glad that Kassad said maybe keep Floppy, because I think that he's the easiest to keep. I think that he's shown a lot. I do think that it wouldn't hurt to change this team up by now. I think that, I mean, if I'm going to be as hard as I am on Cloud9 and Nafoni, I should be that same way on this team, because yeah, they have the spots, they've had the opportunities, and I would right now, if I have to keep 2 people from the team, I would do Floppy and Grim, because I think they play actually kind of like some selfless roles. I think actually I think Fang gets kind of set up more than some of the other guys, and yet he doesn't always deliver. Like, he's kind of streaky, kind of inconsistent. But I've seen enough from Grim and Floppy, especially given the fact that they kind of just molded Grim to be this anchor player that kind of had to just take, like, he plays like the pit spots, the back silo on Nuke type of stuff. Floppy plays like kind of like the worst spot on nearly every map. And I'd say that both of those guys are actually doing better than some of the guys where it seems like the system should be helping them more. So that actually draws into question how good JT has been as an in-game leader. It draws into question, can Fang perform when he's that guy that's supposed to be succeeding? And then right now with Halzerg, I don't really have a great beat on this guy yet. You know, like it's been just really for me. I saw him at ESL Pro League where they actually almost took down FaZe in the playoffs, and then at the RMR where he was okay, but he also kind of like mentally speaking is sometimes a little bit too much of a wild card. Like he was yelling, he's yelling when they're winning, but when he's upset, he's like pounding the table, and it's kind of like I don't know if you really want that for your opper. You kind of want a guy that's just a more stable force in general. So would I eviscerate the entire team? No. Would I be down to swap out 3 of the players? Yeah, if they want to make it European and tell Grim and Floppy, you guys are on one-way trips to Europe right now, and we're going to just build a European team, but we're down to keep you guys because we see something in you, that's where I would go with the team.
Here's the thing, I actually love this Kassad take, because now I had never actually thought about, I don't think about this team very much, unsurprised. Who gives a fuck? They're just like on the border of like the relevant status for me. I actually was mega underwhelmed by them failing to beat Imperial and qualify to the major. Like, for real, I thought on paper, like that was pathetic. Like they actually were a better team than Imperial, and Imperial was right there for the taking. It's just Complexity played like the biggest pussies of all fucking time. If you just go watch this game, it's actually like embarrassing how they play. Like they just literally like, it's like, I mean, the joke is, it's like Fallen's just what would you say, like, it's fucking mind controlling them all. It's just walking into his crosshair in every 1v1. Like, what are you doing? Like, have you never watched a Fallen demo? Like, give me a break. Like, I complain about people not knowing how to play against Jame. Like, Fallen's got one of the most iconic fucking clutch styles of all time. Like, how do you think he's just sitting holding an angle, you moron? You think he's not pushing through and going for some close range combat or that he's going to take a gamble and go through some? Of course he is. That's what he does every fucking time. You've never seen a frag move. But I understand in the moment, you're thinking differently. You have all the pressures. You're thinking things like, just don't fuck up. Maybe he does a mistake. Like, you're doing all the mistakes the amateurs do. But that was, to me, that was like the last moment I could really give a solitary fuck about Complexity. Because I sort of agree with Kassad. When I look at the whole team, the problem this team has goes like this. Because the old Complexity was spending big and it was all about... And then they brought this lineup and it was just a free PR win. It's like, hey, you know all those NA players that everyone loves but can't get in a big org? We're just going to sign all of them. Like, what a minute, what? No, just all of them. We're going to make like a shit mini old school team Liquid where it's like all the stars and just hope it works somehow. And spoiler, it has never worked. Like, never at one point in time, unlike all Team Liquid, do they all frag out at the same time. It's like they take fucking turns. One guy has a good game, the other guy has a whack game. And I think if you actually look at most of them just a surplus to requirements. Like, I'm with you. If I had to pick players, it'd probably go in this order. Floppy and Grim, and then that's it. I'm not taking anyone else. That's if I even keep anyone. Because if I look at the others, mate, this lineup actually is mega underwhelming. Fan used to be considered the best player in Extra Salt. He's just a fucking nobody. And he's just okay. He's okay. Best case, okay. JT is fucking 100 crystal levels of bad at fragging. I'm just going to say it right now. He is just bad at fucking playing Counter-Strike with the gun and the crosshair. And the problem is, like, spoiler, he doesn't have fucking Simple on his team. He's going to need to do something. So already he is surplus to... He should be a coach. It's just obvious to me. Seems like he has a good understanding of the game. Should just be a coach. Halzerg is one of the most over-fucking rated players I've ever seen. He only skated by because he played in the shit Dignitas where it was like he was the only player that had any potential. And then I've seen him in these LAN games. He isn't bang average opera. I don't know what anyone sees in him. It's just all right. That's it. So to me, it's like... people just overreact to like one flick he does in a half or something. Like, he's just not a top player, mate. And then like even Grim hasn't actually performed to the level people think he has. He just had CVs every now and then when he went crazy. That's it. So I actually do think it's sort of a waste of time. Like, even if, as Kassad says, even if it's a budget roster, you'd want a budget roster that has more potential, like that actually has ups and downs. Like, you know what? We were talking earlier about that Fluxo team. Dude, the Fluxo team at least sometimes looks dangerous, or like a couple of the players look like they can develop more. This team, I have to say, a bunch of these players have played a few years now. It looks just plateaued and it just didn't work as a premise. Like, my hope when they made the lineup was it would just be like every player would play his like hypothetical career peak and they just frag out. It would just be like a fragging team, you know, and they just get something done. But I agree, they haven't really done anything. And I don't get what the theme is aside from NA. Which, by the way, I'll just say this right now. Fans will tell you on Twitter and Reddit, I've seen this in League of Legends and CSGO, oh, we just want NA teams, we'll support them. They don't support them. They do not. The joke is even the NA pan probably fucking cheering for Fallen. You can't. Not fucking Graham or Fagner. When they say that, spoiler, I'll translate what fans say. When they say we'll cheer for an NA team, they mean one with the liege twists, for like night. Yeah, exactly. All the fucking big names that are already at the top of the game. Spoiler, you're not cheering for your country then. You're cheering for people who are good at the game, which is the ultimate secret of every fan base. Realistically, unless you've got a legend like Fallen or something like that who has like some legacy fans, people are just fans of top teams and players no matter what they tell you. It isn't even about the region. Like, spoiler, here's why I know it's not about being from NA, mate. If I was Complexity, the two obvious angles you go to get a replacement team, it ain't NA, it would be either South America in the sense there's loads of talent, but the problem with South America to me is, I think there's something off with like the IGLs or the coaches there, because it looks like not many of them can actually get the potential to work internationally. So I have to say, it's not the popular angle, but who gives a fuck about like NA pride? I'll just go get CIS players, I'm telling you right now. There's just too much talent in that fucking scene. You go over there and you get the right person to pick out the players, mate. You could have a team, like, think about team spirit. I don't even think they're good, but fucking hell, they're in the playoffs of majors, boys. And people like Wonderful, look, they could be really good. So I would just cut, I agree with you, Kazan, I would boot the whole team. Fuck like rebuilding and Frank. I'd cut the whole team and I'd go get some CIS squad and I'd use this money to pay. By the way, use this money. You could pay and get proper players from that region.
Yeah, they would be happy. They would be happy with the salary as well.
And like I say, if they win, don't worry, the fans are going to support them. I guarantee you. I guarantee. Yes.
And they would have the support of the CIS region too. So
yeah, true.
It's just, I mean, there is so many regions they can go to. Obviously, we are abandoning NA right now, but for a reason as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Let's just not forget that. But overall, waste of money, waste of spots. It's just fire them all and move on.
I can already tell, Murray, this show's going to be straight fire just from the fact we're just casually saying, yeah, fire them all. Fire them all. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.